few things I couldn't do as a kid, and that was read a book and anything that involves talking in front of people, whether it be a play, public speaking, even talking in a meeting about myself. That was a struggle. Recently, I've started to read a book called Self-Compassion, and it's a book filled of stuff talking about being compassionate to oneself and to others. And it talks about one of the biggest fears in our culture, which is public speaking. So I was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. A lot of people don't like to public speak. And it talks about this thing of picturing everyone in their underwear when you're speaking. Now, this never really made sense to me because I was like, what is that going to do for me being nervous on stage? It makes no sense at all. But it explains that it is so that you can understand that everyone in the room is imperfect and they're just human, just like you, and it eases the pressure of you needing to be perfect on stage. Now that makes a little more sense, but for me, still doesn't really make sense. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, especially around my age, maybe a little older and younger, struggle to talk to people, on the street or in a line or on the train because they fear that they might be judged or it might be awkward, or they may get looked at weird. And in reality, that will never happen, or very, very, very rarely will that happen. Like, think about yourself. You want to ask someone for directions. You might think about, are they gonna think that this is weird? I'm asking them. You'll overthink it. But if someone comes up to you and asks you for directions, it's no big deal, right? You don't judge that person. You don't really care. It's just, yeah, that shop. Okay, it's over there. It doesn't really cross your mind at all. But if you're the person asking, you run through these so many different scenarios that are not even a thing. I learned at a very young age, no matter what you look like, no matter how smart, no matter how much you've accomplished, what's in your bank account, or anything, your status, at the end of the day, you are human, and so is every single other person you speak to. They're human. And as much as we like to think that we're very unique and very different, the reality is we are all the same species. We all act and do things very, very alike. If you ask someone that has a dog, if you put their dog in a room full of 100 other dogs, they'll be able to pick their dog out, right? Because it's their dog, right? But at the end of the day, when a dog's happy, it wags its tail. When it's scared, it tucks it under. When it's feeling threatened, it barks. These are things that dogs do, if not all do, right? And it's the same with humans. We do certain things very alike. We're not that much different from each other. And I think the sooner that you realize that, the easier it is to then understand that the person standing in front of you or the audience standing in front of you they think very much like you, and they are more alike than they are disalike from you. Now, here's the lesson that I'm going to teach you. That is not just imagining everyone in their underwear, which I think personally is a better way of looking at it. So stick with me. I used to play a game called Gears of War, and in this game, it's a shooting game where you try and kill your opponent, and you hold your shotgun naturally on your right. And so if you come up to a wall like this, when you hold your shotgun on the right, the wall is protecting your body, right? And your shotgun peeks out. But if the wall is now on your right side, the gun is still here and you have to peek out all the way. But by the time you peek out, your whole body is exposed to the person that's trying to kill you. Now, why do I explain this to you? Well, here's why. There's a place called Clock Tower, and you'd come up these stairs and it would be like a hallway. It'd be very small. So most of the time, if you was sitting on the right side, allowing your body to be covered, and then your opposing person, because they're opposite you, would be holding on the left, so their body would be exposed. 9 times out of 10, The person that has the right hand advantage would win the fight because they just have more mass to shoot. So when you were playing against someone and you came up to this spot, you knew if you was on the right hand side that you'd win as long as you sat there and waited for them to come to you because you had the advantage. Now as the left person, you knew that you had to either make a play, right, or try and dupe them out, right? Now, a lot of people would lose this fight every single time. Now, I have been playing this game for most of my life. It's probably one of the earliest memories that I have with my dad, my uncle, and my siblings. So I got really good at being on the left, and I'll tell you how I did it. So if I was on the left, I would always try to envision and predict what that person wants to see. Now, the play was normally that you would go to the left, go to the right, and then you try and make a shot, right? And that was normal for most people. Most people would understand that that's what they're seeing. So instead, I'd go left, strafe, and then go left again, so that their shot would be towards the right and they would miss me most of the time. But I would always change it depending who I played. If I played someone that knew me and they knew that I did that, I would change it up again, right? I'd go right, I would start with a right, then go left, then go right. And so I always adapted to who I was talking to. But the main thing is I put myself in their shoes. What are they going to see? What are they going to predict? What are they seeing? And I think the reality is it wasn't 100% win rate. I always, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And what I would notice is with people that were really good at the game, I would always win against them. But the people that weren't, the people that were new to the game, I'd always lose. And I thought, why am I losing to people that have never played the game when it comes to this spot? And now I know, right? The reality is the people that I go up against, the people that we were very alike because we knew the game, we understood the game. And because we were alike, I could think like them. Whereas someone that was new to the game had no clue, they were just hitting buttons. I couldn't think like them because I wasn't in their realm, right? And so, here's what I say to you. Always put yourself in the shoes of someone else. Now, no matter what they do in life, no matter the status, the age, this and that, there's going to be a baseline where you are both human. You're both very alike. And when you try to think like them, when you try to put yourself in their shoes, you won't always hit it. But most of the time, you will be able to understand how they think, feel, and react to things. And because you can do that, it makes it a lot easier to speak. Understanding that the person that you're talking to is only human and they're a lot like you than you may think makes it so much easier to speak freely. That might not make a lot of sense to everyone, but I hope that it makes sense to you. And it's the way I like to think. Sometimes, again, I can miss the shot and be completely wrong. But for most of the time, it hits. And I'm able to talk freely and have that person respond and have that conversation go really well.